It is Sunday, March 10th in the NBA, and my three favorite picks are on the way. What's going on, everyone? It's Logan from Calling Our Shot, and it's not just me today. I brought a special guest. Let's bring him out. How about the Bruins for the 3-0 sweep? Let's go. Yesterday was absolutely electric. That's how we wanted to start the weekend. Austin put a lot of pressure on me with Solo Logan. He said Solo Logan videos are the absolute best. This guy is pretty good at gambling, and I'm glad it paid off yesterday. Austin with a great call of in the Pistons game with Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham soared over his points line. It was a first half cash. That one was great. We had a sweat in that Suns game. That Suns game came down to the wire. As I mentioned in my analysis, these totals are pretty sharp this time of year. Luckily, that under came through for us. And then we had the Nuggets minus 12. That one was pretty sweat-free. The Jazz are just poverty, and we got to fade that team, especially when they're on the road there. So a nice little plus 2.69 unit day yesterday. Season to date, plus 44.54 units. What did I tell you? I said I want to be at the 50 unit mark soon. I think Austin and I are definitely trending towards that. Hopefully we can stay hot. Speaking of staying hot, if you're loving the picks, do Austin and I a favor. Go join our DubClub. Just $5.99 a month. That's less than the Starbucks coffee in your hand. And we're a whole lot better. It's just a little way to give Austin and I a virtual tip jar is what we like to say. We do put a lot of hard work into these videos for you guys. If you're appreciative of that, go join our DubClub. You get all the plays early. And honestly, you save yourself money in just the line movement alone. You've seen it time and time again with Austin's picks. Those lines change almost instantaneous as we send them out to our DubClub. So definitely go ahead and consider joining that out. It would be super appreciative. But without further ado, how about we dive right into the picks? Speaking of Austin, let's go to a player prop. His favorite player prop of the day yesterday was an easy winner. Today, hopefully we can get another winner with Saddiq Bey of the Atlanta Hawks, over 15.5 points, minus 120 odds on DraftKings, your best value there. Now, also playable 216.5. Also, Austin wanted to know he likes the same game parlay of 15-plus points and 4-plus rebounds for Saddiq Bey if you want to kind of get cute and make an SGP there. Now, why do we like this pick? It's Saddiq Sunday, in Austin's words, not mine. He writes up these notes, and I just kind of deliver what he's thinking. The Hawks are banged up. Trae Young is out. Biggest injury news, though, Jalen Johnson remains out. DeJounte Murray is questionable. Last game with Jalen Johnson out, Saddiq Bey logged 37 minutes, his fourth straight game with 35-plus minutes. He shot 12 times. The issue, he shot 1 for 12, 8%, scoring 3 points. Now Saddiq Bey returns back to Atlanta, where we expect him to shoot better. Prior to that debacle, Saddiq had scored 23, 17, and 23 points on 14, 15, and 14 field goal attempts, all 3 games with Jalen Johnson active. So we're happy to see Saddiq is still getting his shots up despite missing almost every single one he can put up. Today, the Hawks play host to the Pelicans. New Orleans has a very good defense, and they should make life pretty difficult for DeJounte Murray, who's just scored 41 points. I imagine he gets the defensive attention. Instead, we look for Murray to hopefully kick it to his shooters like Saddiq Bey. Over the last 10 games, the Pelicans have allowed the third most catch-and-shoot three-point attempts in the NBA. Saddiq just went 0 for 6 from 3. You'd expect some positive regression to happen. He's minus 170 to make 2+ threes tonight. So hopefully we can already start out with 6 points. Hopefully that's a 3-point made line is priced correctly. And Saddiq is over 15.5 points in 13 of 21, 62% of home games with 10+ field goal attempts. 10+ field goal attempts should be a very low line for him. Saddiq should be more aggressive tonight and get to his spots for us today. Prior to last game, he attempted 4+ free throws in 3 straight games. He might have to defend Zion, but that doesn't worry us. DeAndre Hunter will come in and defend him in the second unit. Hopefully Saddiq Bey does show up for us after a bad outing. That's kind of where we like to take some of these spots. I really agree with Austin. I think this is a sneaky good prop to take. And hopefully the Hawks can keep this game competitive. If Pelicans is free, then okay. But we saw in that Pelicans-Sixers game, the Pelicans did let the Sixers back into that game and backdoor covered for us. So hopefully we can keep this game competitive. Hopefully Saddiq Bey does deliver us another prop winner. Again, this is Austin's favorite player prop of the day. I think it stands a really good chance of cashing. Now let's go to my picks. As we mentioned, we swept the board with our spread/total, so we're going to keep the same formula. Now, this game does start early, 3 p.m. Eastern time, so get your bet in if you do want to tail. I'm taking the Los Angeles Clippers +3, -108 odds on FanDuel, your best value there. Also playable at 2.5. Or if you want to get ambitious, you can take the money line as well. My philosophy, though, when it comes to taking the points on an underdog, I just take the points. I don't get greedy and come on here and do the underdog. But if you want to get a little bit greedy for plus value, you can go ahead and take them outright, because virtually we will need them to keep this game a one-possession game and maybe even win this game outright. I think the Clippers do have a good chance of doing that. But why do I like them today? Well, first of all, this line opened as a pick 'em. The value has been added to the Clippers side as a home underdog. We normally see this with spreads. You get some crazy line movement. What a side that was once the favorite now is an underdog, and that's kind of where I want to pick them. I want to close that gap of where the line opened and where we're getting it. Those two teams just played a week ago, and Milwaukee won at home without Giannis. I know a lot of people might have taken Clippers in that one. The Clippers closed as 2.5-point favorites, but they were getting 5.5 points prior to that Giannis status. The people that were getting 5.5, I know how you feel. You think, oh, I got it before the news came. I should be free. Nope, not enough. And that's kind of just funny how the NBA works like that. But this game, just like the last matchup, is on zero. The Clippers are on zero rest. They just did play yesterday. On zero rest, the Clippers aren't a bad team. They're 6-4 straight up, only allowing 113 points per game in those games. They can come out and have a solid defensive showing. I really like our chances. The Clippers also are 7th best in three-point percentage allowed at home, which will be a key today because the Bucks love getting up those three-point shots. Milwaukee's defense was really great coming out of the All-Star break, but the way the Lakers torched them had me seeing the regression hitting. I didn't like what I saw at all. That's not a great Lakers offense in that one, and the Milwaukee just let them score 120 plus. I mean, that's kind of a bad showing. Even on zero rest, this Clippers team is still averaging almost 120 points per game on zero rest. This is an offense that shot below their season average of 49% in their first matchup, but their season average is really good. They're 4th best in the NBA for a reason. I know this Clippers team can be hard to trust. I'm sure everyone in here has gotten burned by them at one point and swore them off, but you kind of have to take each game in a vacuum. You can't let your feelings influence your next day's pick. Milwaukee is 21st in opponents' field goal made per game and 15th in opponents' shooting percentage. You're able to get some decent looks against Milwaukee's defense, and I think that's what we see today for the Clippers. And Kawhi and PG, I think they get to their spots. I think they knock down the shots. Clippers +3 is a great pick to make, in my opinion. I think there's a really good shot they win this game as home underdogs and stop Giannis. Giannis obviously is always on the injury report, game time decision. If he doesn't play, I don't know. It doesn't influence my pick because I still think the Clippers will have a decent game plan for Giannis in this one. Give me the Clippers +3 as our second pick of the day. But let's go to our third pick. It's going to be a total, same formula as yesterday. Wizards versus Heat. I'm taking the over 227.5, -110 odds on Caesars, your best value there. Now, I also consider playing this line at 229.5 if that's where your book has. The extra 1.5 or 2 points should not make a difference in this one. Fingers crossed. I know yesterday I mentioned that under in that Suns game was super sharp. I said, be careful where you play this line, and it did do just that. These totals can be really sharp, but this line opened at 232.5, which is pretty shocking to see for a Heat game. Normally, the Heat are not like a team like the Pacers that should consistently have lines in the 230s. They're not an amazing offense, and they do play some decent defense. But I want to dive into the numbers later and show you how I actually think the over is the play in this one. The total has went over and under this line in the two matchups between these two teams this season. There should be plenty of points on both sides in this game. For Miami's offense, they get the Wizards defense. Enough said, end of analysis. No, just kidding. But the Wizards have allowed an average of 124 points to their opponents in their last 5 games. Wizards are dead last in defensive rating, 30th, for a reason. This is a bad defense. You ever watch them, there's a reason why they just struggle to win games, because you got to come up with stops, and they can defend for the whole shot clock, but in that last second, they'll just give up a layup, and you'll just be like, wow, great defense there, Wizards. And then they'll just let the opponent go up and down the floor. But if the Heat are able to hit that mark today of scoring 124-ish plus points, we're going to stand a really good chance at cashing this bet. I'm confident the Wizards can get us the rest of the way there and with their offense. The Washington has had games where they hit the 49% plus field goal percentage mark 3 of their last 6. So 50% of the time, 50% of the time, they're obviously shooting like 50%. And I don't mind their matchup today against a Heat defense that isn't great statistically, even at home. At home, Miami's defense, 22nd in three-point made percentage allowed, 27th in threes allowed, 22nd in opponent field goal percentage allowed. This is one of those Heat defense that, you know what, I'm going to be disrespectful. Sometimes they look like they're playing great defense, but they actually aren't. And I think that's what we're seeing with a lot of these opponents that come into Miami and get some decent looks. Washington should be no different to that today. And the Wizards, first in pace, and hopefully can speed up a slow Miami team. That's kind of, each of these teams play a completely different play style. Miami is almost like dead last in pace. Wizards first in pace. They love to run up and down the floor. Well, when you run up and down the floor, hopefully that gives Miami a great transition look and some quick points that way. We can't go out and make shots for these teams. Obviously, watching an over is kind of tough because you sit there, you feel good, and then they have a quarter where they can't make anything, and you're just sitting there like, oh. But I think this is a really great spot to target the over between these two teams at 227.5. As I mentioned, the line opened a lot higher than this. It's been bet down. That creates value to me on the over. So we're going to go ahead and take the Wizards versus Heat over 227 as our last pick. Let's do a quick little mini recap of our card today. We had Saddiq Bey's over in points. We had the Clippers +3. And we had that Wizards versus Heat game over that I just talked about. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I really do enjoy making them, even solo Logan appearances. Hopefully we can go 3-0 once again today. A 6-0 sweep of the weekend would be absolutely amazing. But let's make some money today. As always, I'll catch you on the next one. This has been Logan. Peace out.